Tom Ford refused to dress Melania Trump when asked in the past and says his clothes are too expensive for her to wear as First Lady, despite making a custom gown for Michelle Obama. One of America's most talented and iconic fashion designers has revealed that he has no desire to dress Melania Trump in his clothes, and has already refused to work with her in the past. Tom Ford stopped by The View on Wednesday to talk about his new film Nocturnal Animals, and also spent some time talking about First Lady fashion. "We've got a new First Lady, Melania Trump, and she's quite beautiful, and she's thin. She's gonna look great in your clothes, no?" Host Joy Behar asked Ford at the top of the interview, clearly hoping to learn if Ford would consider working with the former model or had a strict ban. A hesitant-looking Ford paused for a moment before responding to the question, saying, "I don't know. I was asked to dress her quite a few years ago and I declined." He then explained his reason for passing on the offer by stating, "Well, she's not necessarily my image." Ford, 55, then told Behar and the other hosts that he would also not be dressing Melania while she was in the White House, saying his clothes are too expensive for a First Lady to wear because they have to relate to everybody. His designer wares were not too expensive for the current First Lady though, who Ford outfitted in a custom-made ivory evening gown back in 2011 for a dinner with the royal family at Buckingham Palace. Ford even threw in a pair of gloves to round out the look. The price of the dress was never given since it was one of a kind, but Ford's gowns tend to start around $5,000, with many of his evening looks being priced in the five-figure range. "Michelle I dressed once when she was going to Buckingham Palace for dinner with the Queen," said Ford when asked to comment on some of Michelle's more expensive looks. "I thought that was appropriate and I was honored." When prodded a bit more about whether Melania should really stop wearing expensive clothes once her husband takes office, Ford simply said, "I'll leave that to Melania." He also made a point of noting that he would not dress Hillary Clinton if she was in the White House. Most fashion houses have done their best to not comment about the new First Lady and whether any would be willing to dress her, with the exception of Sophie Thiellet. The French-based designer, whose looks have proven to be a favorite of the current First Ladies over the past 8 years, said in an open letter released after the election that she would not dress Melania and hoped other designers would follow suit. Little did she know that Ford had been doing just that for years. There have been few designers more successful than Ford, who shot to fame back in 1994 when he was named creative director of Gucci. The house was almost bankrupt at the time he took the reins, and within 5 years was valued at $4 billion. His edgy looks were a hit with critics as well, and in 1999 he took on a second job as creative director of Yves Saint Laurent. That post proved a bit more challenging at times for Ford, as even though critics loves his lines and profits for the fashion house were up, his work was hated by Yves himself, who was not shy about voicing his distaste for the young designer's hypersexualized aesthetic.